Hi parents, I hope you guys are doing well. As you know, I'm Gab, this is Corey. For those of you that don't know, today was quite a heavy day as we visited with your kids both Yad Vashem and Mount Herzl. It was a heavy day of processing different emotions and
So yeah, rather than doing a get to know your camper tonight, we thought it'd be a good idea to put together a little video montage of some of the kids kind of expressing what struck them the most from today. What are they taking away from today? What they learned and just what really affected them from today's long day.
Exactly, what resonated and what touched them. This video is called The Moment That Touched Me the Most, and we hope you guys enjoy. Just so you guys know also, we did this on a volunteer basis, meaning whoever was comfortable enough to present themselves in front of a camera came and participated in this montage. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let us know what you think.
Today we went to Yad Vashem and then we went to Mount Herzl, and at the beginning I was walking around with the tour guide at Yad Vashem, and it wasn't like, I didn't really understand it and I wasn't really connecting because I wasn't able to process the information. But once I started walking around Yad Vashem alone, it was more connecting, and I was able to really see what happened in the Holocaust and really process the information and see what was going on. I started getting a bit emotional when I started realizing that my great-grandparents and my grandfather had to go through a lot of what happened in the Holocaust, and that these are real events. It's always been told about history, but it actually happened, and it's something that needs to be known and needs to be noticed, and that's why there's Yad Vashem. That's why there's a museum about it and so much information. And I only started getting really emotional when it was the ending, because Hatikva was playing, and from there was a database that you're able to look up relatives, and I found more relatives than I initially thought I had that survived the Holocaust. And it was more of just surprising that there's more people than I expected related to me that survived, and I wasn't able to know them because they had passed away before I was born, even before my father was born. And it was just it really hit me, and I felt really sad, because what if I was in that position? I don't know how people survived through. It was crazy.
When I walked in to the Holocaust Center, and right even before I had the chills, and I had heavy chested, and then when I walked in, the guide started explaining how happy everybody was living before the Holocaust started, and it was so unexpected. And then when it happened, I think about how my grandmother, she was married before, and then her husband passed away, and then right after the Holocaust she got remarried, and that was my Zadie that passed away 7 years ago. But then when I think about it, it's as if he, if my grandmother's old husband didn't pass away, then he would still be here today and I wouldn't be here today. But then if the Holocaust didn't, if the Holocaust did happen, my grandmother still has to suffer with it every day, and she has to wake up in the morning and think about it and all the rough times that she'd had in her life.
Moment of the day is probably at Yad Vashem, after I kind of went on my own tour around the whole place, and once I got to the end, I got to the Hall of Names, and I knew coming in that my grandfather's parents and grandparents' names were both there. So I went onto a computer and I researched it up, and I found 6 names, and I thought I'd only find 4, but it turns out that I found both his parents and his grandparents, but then there were 2 other names I've never heard of before, and I looked at their testaments and I saw that one said brother and the other also said father. So I'm not really 100% sure of what happened or what the story is behind it, but I texted my parents to find out, and I'm gonna find out from my grandfather also. Yeah, it was a very sensitive, emotional moment for me, as I never met those great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents in my life, and knowing their stories about the Holocaust and how my grandfather is separated from them, I really connected with the place, and I felt very, I felt very emotional with everything that was going on.
So I think what's gonna stick with me, like everything was really scary, and I can't believe people that actually happened. But I think what would stick with me the most, the first thing was hearing true stories from people who like suffered so much, and the way that what happened to them was crazy. I don't know how that could happen. And then seeing a truck pick up dead bodies that literally it looked like they were dirt. Like it didn't matter to them if they were people. They lived lives. Like it didn't matter. They just were skinny, very sick bodies who were treated so badly, and that's really not fair. And it didn't sit well with me. And then when I was looking at these things, I was thinking like these were my family. Like my great grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and she went through that. And I don't like this could have been all my friends, like their grandparents, their great grandparents, and I don't know how people could go through that and how people could do that to other people. And then at Yad Vashem, I always learned about in school how there's people fighting, like you know what's happening, but you never really get a face or understand the people, and it's actually people. And so one of the staff told us to look at the ages on the tombstone, and the first ones I saw were like 21, 19, 18, and that messed with me because they were so young, and I could see their faces, and I could see like one of them had a surfboard, and you would know that they like surfing, and it scared me to see that these are people, and they're actually people who gave up their lives for this country, and I don't think it's fair that they had to do that, and it's not right how everyone was treated, and people like normal people shouldn't have to ruin their lives just for this.
That like most touched me and like most like, it got to me like really hard was when like we walked into the Children's Memorial Center, and like at first like you just see like pictures of children like my age, a bit older than me, a bit younger than me. And then like you go into this darker room, and there are like millions of candles or reflections of millions and millions of candles, and you're like, whoa, like that's a lot of candles. And then you think like, wait, like each one of those candles represent a child, and like up to 18 years old, and like yeah, like adults, like old people, a bunch of people were killed, but like it's crazy to think that like these people, like they're like my age, my sister's age, my brother's age, my cousins, my friends, like my best friend's age, and like to think that like if I would have been born in like the 1930s, 40s, like that would have been me, and like it's just like crazy, like they haven't even got a chance to live yet, like most of them like haven't even gotten a chance to speak or like to walk. Like how could like someone like so young have done like something so bad to be sent and like to death right away, like after like 3 years of living or 4 years. So
we ate lunch up like outside of Yad Vashem, and how like we were all having we were all having a few slices of pizza, and we were very full, while the people in the Holocaust were just like starved to death, and a lot of them died. And it just like it like put things into perspective, because like it just showed me how fortunate I am to like not be in that, and how we don't live in that anymore, because like it was just terrible. Like they died of starvation while we're outside eating pizza and laughing, and you know, like it's terrible.
We are sitting on tombstones that could be of younger people who are fighting for this country and might fall. It just crossed my mind that I really want to be in the army for like 3 years now, and what if I was sitting on my own grave, and what if I'm going to be buried right where I'm sitting?
First of all, at Yad Vashem, I knew a lot about the Holocaust because I went to Jewish elementary school, and I learned a lot about like things like concentration camps and what the Jewish people went through. But today I read something on one of the documents, and it said that they had Jewish people working in concentration camps burning other Jewish people. And I reread it like at least 5 or 6 times to make sure I was reading properly, because I never learned this, and just walking away knowing that like really hit me hard. And then later on, when we went to Mount Herzl, Corey spoke to us about Jason Friedberg, who my dad is very close with his brother. And when we went to go visit his grave, I like felt like a connection, because he lived in Montreal. He's part of the Dollar Jewish community, and that easily could have been any one of my friends in the future. And be anyone that I know, and knowing that that could happen to one of my close friends, like I can't imagine living knowing that could be like one of us. And then later on, Barack was telling us about there was a man, a soldier, and in the span of 3 seconds, he threw himself on a grenade to save everyone else around him. And just thinking about that, thinking about what 3 seconds could change to your life and could change everyone else around you. He just saved tons of people in the span of 3 seconds. So, and take that, like, saving those people costed him his life. So, like, thinking about that, like, I don't know if I could do that in the span of 3 seconds. Like, that also really hit me hard.
It was a really emotional day for all of us. I think, like, we all know that by now. Like, all of us, most of us cried. But I think what was really emotional for me personally was when Barack, Corey, and Gab spoke, because they all really said things that were like that made us think, you know, like that brought us out of our comfort zone, and like made us think, like, what if that was me, and like what if that happened to my family, like how would I react, you know? So like that really made me think, and it was really relatable to me because I have a brother that's in the army. Well, I mean, like, he's done now, but he was in the army, and like it never occurred to me like, oh, like he could die any day, right? And I really regret like not thinking about that every day, because I love my brother from the bottom of my heart, and like I think I only realized that once I got to Israel, because like that's when I really like missed him. And also Corey spoke about Jason Friedberg, right? Jason Friedberg. And when he spoke, it was very emotional, but like the most emotional part for me, like the most meaningful one, was when he was like crying on top of his grave. And why it was meaningful to me was because Corey didn't like know that person like personally. I mean, like his mom did, but he didn't. So it really shows how like a person can, like, not even a person you know, just like what a person's done in their life, and like all the good they've done, like how it could affect you, like how big of an impact it can make on you, right? And also like most of our trip has been based on like how you can change the world, and I really think that Jason personally, like not personally, but changed the world for like my supervisor Corey and like probably like a bunch of other people. And yeah, that was very, very meaningful to me. And yeah.
The first thing that resonated with me today was that right after you walk out the Yad Vashem, the museum, there's this, I guess, there's this viewing point, and I went to it, and I just, you know, I looked abroad, I looked at everything in the distance, and I realized that there are 6 million people, 6 million Jews that will never get to see their homeland, something that was given to them. They died so that we could be here today. And that really stuck with me. And the second thing that really stuck with me is that on Mount Herzl, you look at all these fallen soldiers' tombs, and you see died at the age of 18, 20, 21, 19, and it really got me thinking, because I have siblings that are 23, 21, 18, either older or even at the same age as some of these soldiers. So it showed me that like you can't take anything in life for granted, because you never know when it'll be your last day, your last moment, your last I love you to anyone. So you have to, I don't even know, you have to tell your parents you love them. Tell your family you love them. Tell your friends you love them.